And with that done, I'm going to crack on with the panels and get those into some primer. So I will bend this up to 90 degrees. Let's do this, let's give this a go. Because half the wire is missing. Okay guys, so in a recent video I carried out some work on my Ae86 Corolla. Now, I had no intention of doing any more to this car until I saw the condition of the side panels which attached my two front seats. Now, I restored these around about 3 years ago and had some paint mixed, but was never happy with the finish or the colour. So what I've decided to do is remove them. I've had them vapor blasted and I've had a new batch of paint mixed. Now this is in a rattle can. And I had one of my original blue seat backs scanned and it came up as a 98% match to a BMW colour, believe it or not. But as I said, this is a satin finish, so it will look a lot better. So that's the plan. I've got some high build primer to put on the plastics and yeah, we'll see how well this blue comes out. And if these panels for the seats come out well and as expected, I'm going to remove my centre console and do that in the same blue also. But I'll see how these come out first and yeah, we will go from there. So this is what we have at the moment. This is the driver's side, which originally is a brown panel, and that is because this driver's seat was converted to the blue cloth from an orange and brown seat, whereas the passenger seat was originally a blue seat, so comes with the blue plastics. Got the handles here to tilt back the seat, and we have the knob here which adjusts the tilt of the seat, and I'm actually yet to remove the little knob on the side which brings in the side bolsters, so I'll do that in a second. But yeah, these are all ready to go. Also, this morning I received in the post these 13mm ring connectors. And if you guys remember in the previous video, I had some issues with the horn sounding on its own accord. I run an Intel Volante steering wheel, and randomly one day I was turning and the horn was just going off. A little bit embarrassing. Because what I did is the earth wire just wrapped around the column nut. So I thought this is going to be a much better solution. So I will bend this up to 90 degrees. I will crimp the earth wire and then attach that to the column. So yeah, I might get on and do that in a second. Whilst the centre cover of the steering wheel is off and I can access the nut easily, let's do this, let's give this a go. And when I do take the car out next, I can give it a proper test and make sure that these little ring connectors work. I think this is a better idea, and I'm not quite sure why I didn't do this originally. But I've got them, so yeah, let's get them fitted. So just remove the adjuster knob for the side bolsters. And this is what I painted a few years ago. You can quite clearly see. This is not lacquered, this is straight out the can. But cellulose paint, you can see the shine on it. I mean, the colour match, it's a little bit darker. I mean, this is worn, to be fair. But yeah, I wanted more of like a matte or satin finish. So yeah, I'll take this to be vapor blasted also. And hopefully, when I apply this new colour, it'll come out much better. So I'll leave that there for a reference. And then once I've painted these, and I've got one currently in the high build primer, hopefully it will look a little bit more original. So that's where we need to get to. And if you can just see, the wire is actually fraying, and I didn't see that before. So that probably wouldn't help. But yeah, this is the wire here, which I made with a spade connector. So yeah, I will get what I think is a 19mm socket, if I remember correctly, and we will get that removed. So yeah, it is a 19mm socket. I just put this steering into the steering lock position, and this does then break free quite easily. So hopefully I don't lose this nut inside, which I don't. So there you go. And now I can inspect. Okay, so that's probably why, because half the wire is missing. Okay, wow. Yeah, you can see the rest of it is trapped. You guys could just about see at the top there. Okay. Well, it was definitely a good idea to get a ring connector. And as you can see, I have already bent it almost to a 90. So I will strip some of this wire back and I'll get that on to that. And there we go. So hopefully this should be easy enough to slide down onto the column, but I think I need two hands, and also I need a torch, because as you guys can see, it's a little bit dark in there. So yeah, let me get this on, try and get the nut on and in without it wanting to fall out of the socket. And yeah, that should, I think, definitely, looking at what was left, that was always the issue. It just wasn't getting a good connection. So yeah, this I'm sure will work. That is much, much better. So I'll get these two reconnected, and then yeah, I can try it out when I'm next on the road, but I can't see that that is going to fail me. I honestly don't know why I didn't do that years ago, but it's done now, and I'm confident that that will work. That seems to work a lot better. They are a lot more responsive than before. So I'm very confident that that has fixed it. And with that done, I'm going to crack on with the panels and get those into some primer. Okay then guys, so it is the following day and these have been painted and are now dry, and I'm very, very happy with the outcome. I could honestly say that you would not think that these were painted and that this was just the original colour of the plastic, which was the aim. So there's the inside, the original blue, and I think it's safe to say you would not be able to tell. Yeah, you can pick up the blue. Yeah, that's the original blue on the inside. And on the rear. So safe to say, I'm confident enough to do the same with the centre console. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get these refitted to the seats and then set about removing the centre console and the radio surround and have them vapor blasted as I have with these, and then get them painted in the same colour. Wow, this car smells immense. That valet was well worth it. It smells so good in here. But anyway, on to the task. So, refit this one first, I think. An easy one to do because the back is in place. Is fit this one. So this is the knob which adjusts these bolsters in and out. I just have to refit the little horseshoe clip, and that simply clicks into position. So next up is this side cover, which goes there, but it's going to be a two-handed job because I need to try and not scratch this bit here when moving this handle. It can be a bit of a pain. So yeah, let me get this fitted and I'll get back to you. Here you go, guys. So you've got a bolt there, a screw in this hole here, and I've already put this handle on, which is held on with a little screw. All that's to put on now is this. So the horseshoe clip, just like the one on the side bolster, has a little horseshoe clip, and hopefully that should just slide on, just like that. And that is in place. I don't know if you can see, but what that does is tilts the base up and down. But yeah, that looks much more OEM. You can see there, it matches this so much better. I need to get my torch for you to really be able to see, but yeah, this center console just doesn't look right now. It just looks far too modern, but so happy. So now I'll do exactly the same as I've done there on the passenger seat. Okay, so that is the passenger side fitted also. Now, center console. Don't know if you can see, but the door plastics compared to this, you can really see how bright the blue is. It's just not right, and I've never really been that happy with it. So now let's get on and remove this center console. So first of all, the radio surround. There's two screws to this side and to that side. This then slides out, and then we can remove the center console bit, and it's in two halves. So you've got this bit here, which is for the gear shifter, and then you've got this back bit, which leads all the way back to our little cubby hole. And I think there's 4 screws for that also. So yeah, I may have to slide this seat forward or back, I can't quite remember, just to make sure I can get to all the screws. But let me remove them all, and then I can get these vapor blasted and prepped, ready for paint. So all the fixings have been removed. One in there, and the same the other side. One in there, and the same the other side. Handbrake up, and then hopefully this should just, if we put the gear stick forward, hopefully this should, he says, move like that. So that's the first half, and then this bit here, so you've got these 2 screws that you can see just here, and I've already removed the 2 that were here in the front, and this is covered with the radio surround. So yeah, you remove these 2, and then this slides up. You just have to pop the gear gaiter down through the center of it, and then that will slide out. And there is the second part. So all I will need to do now is take off this door here, which is held on with a little pin, because I don't want to spray that. And then I can mask up all the rubber also. Yeah, that is as simple as that. And the screws, this is what we have. So 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 screws all in all, which holds on these 2 and that. This is why I love working on old cars. So simple. So that's the door removed. And this is held in with 2 little pins. And to get to them, you need to get underneath. So there's that little metal piece there that retains it. And down in there, it doesn't really focus, but down in there you just get a flat-headed screwdriver, and you want to poke them in, and then you can get some pliers just to pull them out and then this slides off. But whilst it is off, I'm going to give it a polish because there's a few light scratches on it. So yeah, this is ready for paint. All I have to do is just mask up this rubber trim, and that bit is done. This one, not much really needs to be done. So the black, this is just where the rubber boot sits, but the black's in pretty good nick. But what I might do is, this is just a matte black. So if I'm going to put it in the Vapor Blaster, I will do all of it and I'll redo this. And the same with this. So if I remember correctly, this is painted also. So yeah, I'll Vapor Blast the whole thing and I'll just have to redo the black as well as the blue. Here we are then, guys. All of the panels are back from Vapor Blasting. As you can see, all the paint is now gone, and this is a much quicker process than having to sand all of these by hand. And what it does also is it leaves the perfect finish for the etch primer, and that is what I'll do now. I'll get these in the etch, and then we can get the colour on them. So all of those panels are now in primer and dry. So hopefully we have enough of this blue that I had mixed. And yeah, what I need to do is mask off on the center trim. There's two pieces. So the front part, which is what houses the gear selector, that needs to be in a matte, or I've got satin black, so I'm going to use satin black. But that center piece needs to be yeah, satin black. And the same with the radio surround. So where the radio sits, that centerpiece is also in the black. So what I'll do is I'll mask those bits off. I'll lay the black down first, and then once that is dry, I will then mask the black off, and then I can go ahead and apply the blue. And then I'll lacquer over the whole thing. And then we should have some completed interior panels. And hopefully the colour match this time goes well and looks as original as possible, because that is the aim. So that's the radio surround masked up just around the edges there. So we'll spray it underneath and around here, let that dry, and as I mentioned, we will mask this off, and then we can paint the blue on the sides here. Okay guys, so that is the black laid. So we just need to wait for that to dry, and then I can peel off the masking tape and then apply the blue. And I think so far it's all looking good. So yeah, I'm pretty hopeful, and I'm yet to actually check the result of the seat plastics, which I painted a couple of days ago. And I know the paint will have settled a lot more. So I'm gonna have a quick sneaky peek and see how well they've come out. But yeah, like I said, I'll leave that to dry, and then I'll crack on and I'll apply the blue. So as you just saw guys, these are all done. Now it's been a couple of days and they have dried and they look so good. I know this light is a bit poor inside my unit, but but I'm so happy with the finish. It honestly doesn't look like I've painted them. It just looks like the original colour of the plastic, which is exactly what I was aiming for. So all that's to happen now is to get these back into the car, which I think I'll do now. So this is the first panel to go back in. There you go. Just the reverse. 2 screws down there and 2 screws just at the front there, either side. So now with that in, we can get this back bit in over the handbrake. That's that part in. 4 screws, 2 at the front and 2 at the back there. Easy enough. So now it is just the radio surround. And there is the final piece, guys. It matches so much better than before. I'm really, really happy with the finish. I could have possibly gone for the gloss lacquer, but honestly, I'm really happy with that satin finish. I think that is perfect. Much happier than it was previously. So I don't know what you guys think, but I am more than happy with the outcome of those panels. Well worth the effort. And I'm actually now thinking to get another can mixed up to do the boot plastics, because I painted the boot plastics in 2015 when I first got the car, because they were actually missing. And it was a similar blue. So because of the finish of that, I think it'll be worth spending the other sort of 20 quid for the can, and I reckon that'll be enough to do the boot plastics. So yeah, this week I'll pop back down with the can that I have, so they have the code, get another can mixed up, and I'll do that at some point in the future. But with that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.